This list was insanely hard to make, man. I mean, we have legit had some of the greatest episodes in the entire series come out this year, man. And it's like, yo, how am I supposed to rank these? So naturally, there was a lot of bias in here, man. There are some episodes in here that are clearly where they are because of certain biases. So I feel like before we get into the list, I want to put out my criteria, what I rank these on. As a manga reader, of course, I'm going into this with eyes that have already seen the source material. And so mainly whenever I go in to watch these episodes, I'm seeing how they are adapted, what sort of anime-only scenes they go with, the visual and audio direction, how it enhances the overall experience, the viewing experience, as in both viewing it here as an episode and also with the entire community. All of that factors into these rankings. Because like I said, as a manga reader, I'm going into this already knowing what's going to happen. So when it blows my mind, even though I already know what's going to happen, naturally it's going to have a spot in this list. And there was a lot of episodes that did that this year. So if any episode made it onto this list, it is S+ tier. And the episodes that are like in the top 6, 7 range are some of the best stuff in the entire series. Absolutely insane. So without further ado, I couldn't do it just to 10. There's 11. There's 11. I managed to get it down to at the very least 11. All right? Because I was like, you know what? There's one episode I cannot leave off this list. And there's been too much greatness, but I have to talk about this episode. So let's go ahead and start off with number 11. For years, some of my favorite stuff to rewatch have been Roger episodes. Goldie Jordan. And so when this stuff came out in the manga, all I wanted to see was how the anime was going to adapt the Roger portion of the flashback. Man, I was so excited to see all of this. And as a package, I adored every last second of these episodes. And episode 967, showing Roger's adventure, the anime added scenes like Roger pointing up to the sky. Ah, man, dude, and seeing the first half of chapter 967, it was just a glorious, being Sake. I mean, I love this episode, man. I really, really do. It's the adventure of Roger and the boys, yo. Like, how could I not love this episode? And I was like, I can't leave it off the list. It's one half of a top 5 favorite chapter in the entire series for me. And the fact they split it in half and both of them are absolutely incredible. You're definitely going to see the second half of that chapter here on the list. But the first half of that chapter being its own episode, it was just, I loved it, man. Roger's adventure with the boys, and that's why it has a spot on this list, bro. It isn't Odin if it ain't boiled. Yo! I was gonna originally put this higher, but because of this scene, we have had so much greatness from current stuff in the timeline that I was like, you know what? It's thanks to this episode that all of that stuff hit as hard as it did. So I was like, you know what? Odin, my boy, Kozuki Odin. That execution, man, the way they handled this particular sequence, especially the first half with Shinobu crying out and letting everybody know the truth. Extremely emotional stuff. The way the clock continued to tick when Odin tossed all of them off and the little movie type of flashback started playing, with the camera roll similar to the end roll episode at the end of Whole Cake Island, where it had like the film type of rolls on the edge of the screen. It just looked really cool. I love the aesthetic. And when you have that final shot and Odin is outlined by Wano itself, the man who carried Wano on his shoulders, carried so many burdens, so much pain, but at the end of the day, he did it all for the sake of the country and for the sake of his people. And I was like, they just did such a great job of adapting this content, man. S+ tier episode. Odin's that dude. You want to talk about episodes that blew my mind? I went into this episode 994, expecting greatness, but I wasn't expecting this. This? The way they handled Orochi's execution. Oh, bro, I felt the tension. I'm a manga reader. I was like, yo, is he gonna do it? Kaido turned around, the way the camera flipped. Oh, that was great. That was fantastic. The Luffy and Yamato trolling. I mean, any episode with those two automatically S tier. You know how it is with me. Luffy and Yamato greatness, the GOAT duo. And then you have the second half of the episode, which was just beautiful. Beautiful. With Kiku versus Kanjuro. Oh man, the way they handled this, dude, I legit was mad emotional watching this. I still get mad emotional. I'll go back and rewatch some of this stuff. Like, the way they handled this is why the anime adaptation is so much fun to react to. You know what I mean? It's why I really enjoy doing videos on the anime, for stuff like this. For stuff that it just goes so above and beyond what it needs to deliver an experience that gets you more attached to these characters. And they've done a marvelous job with that in regards to the scabbards. But Kiku versus Kanjuro was a cinematic masterpiece, man. And I feel comfortable saying that. So I'm like, that junk was amazing. The visual imagery accompanying those final shots. When Kanjuro's on the floor, Kiku looks back and it flashes to the past of all of them eating together. Oh, man. Dude, I got the soundtrack playing in my head right now. I didn't know that junk was fire, dude. Amazing episode. Amazing episode. The last 3 minutes of this episode is what that's all about. It's Christmas Day. It's Christmas Friday! Yo! Roger pulling up. You got the whole squad there. Odin comes in, divine departure in the anime. Oh, that was so glorious. Whitebeard comes in. You have Goat D. Roja and Edward Newgate clashing. They're not even touching. I mean, Final Fantasy VII summoning animation style. You got the whole planet. It's shaking. You know, the earth is shaking. Stop it now, Goku. And what a marvelous sequence. This episode would probably be higher if almost the entire rest of the episode wasn't dedicated to Orochi. But even that stuff was good. Even that stuff was very well executed. But Roger and Whitebeard, stars of the show, anything with Roger or Whitebeard is automatically a 40 out of 10. So we're out here. And you got a Kid Shanks eating some chocolate. What more do you need? Roger and Whitebeard greatness did a marvelous job of adapting that stuff. The latest episode, dude. Yo, I mean, what do I even say? What can I say? Chapter 992 was one of the things I was looking forward to seeing animated the most. Because I was like, you know, when the anime gets a hold of this, it's over. Bro! Like, bro! The Black Maria section by itself had me like, wait. Yeah, kind of coming in. And then the moonlight coming down the sky. You're like, oh, this is about to hit different. This is about to hit different. And then you go in, and the amount of homages that they paid to the Odin flashback. This is what I mean by the Odin flashback, just amplifying so many of these scabbard sequences to make them hit so much harder. Because not only is it 400 times more epic with the incredible animation sequences, I mean, yo, we got the smears. I mean, they look so good. Yo, the visual direction of this episode is out of this world, dude. The attacks, the coordinated attacks, the Odin Nitoryu, Paradise Totsuka, and then you have all of them switching as it turns into Odin, and then when they go into attack, it's all of them coming together, and their auras create Odin's aura. It's that type of stuff. Then you have the cherry blossoms, the consistency in how they have utilized the Cherry Blossoms, certain soundtracks, to attach that to the Scabbards and to Odin. Whenever you have that consistently playing out throughout the arc, it's naturally going to hit extremely hard, both from a hype standpoint and emotional standpoint. It just gives you goosebumps. Like, I had goosebumps throughout the entire course of this episode. It is marvelous, and it is truly just... It made me realize how much the anime had made me care for the Scabbards. Watching it in the anime, son, legit almost brought a tear to my eye, dog. I was like, oh, Dad! And I just... What the anime is done with the Scabbards is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent, man. I love this episode. It's a lot of bias, right? It's a lot of bias. It's a lot of Luffy and Yamato greatness. We have some great sequences with those two in this episode, especially the connection with Yamato and Kaido. Hilarious stuff between the two. It's so good. It's so good with Luffy and Yamato greatness. But bro, when Luffy stops Yamato, it is like, hold up. And it's the way that everything stops, the way the visual direction accompanies that moment. You're like, yo, we're not the ones who are going to start this. And you go to the Kozuki Crest, and here it goes black and white, and you have Kirimo. Yo, Kirimo was throwing down. I was like, Kirimo, bro. I'm telling you, what the anime has done to make me care for the Scabbards is on another level. It's on another level, man. I love these dudes. And they go up in like swimwear. It's an amazing sequence. But to end it all off, you have the most... It's so epic, dude. Like, yo, they pull up on Kaido and his calamities. Like, straight up, King, Queen, and Jack. King over here, Blade, Izo, Jack getting hit by Neko Babushi. I was like, dog, this is it. And then Kaido pulls out his blade. Denjiro, or Kyoshiro. And he goes right into it. And then you see... And then as they go all down, Tsunachi and the music. Bro, that joke was heat. It was heat. It was fire. S+++ tier episode. And a marvelous adaptation. Like, for anime onlys out there, that was the best possible adaptation I could ever ask for the material that was covered there, man. When you have Luffy and Yamato greatness, Scabbard's awesome sauce to end that episode, and I remember we went on a break after that. Amazing, amazing stuff, dude. We've entered top 5 territory, man. So I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time. Room! Shambles! What can you even say? What can you even say when they start playing Memories? Memories ending 1 for Roger finding the One Piece. Roger's at Laugh Tale and they play Memories. Yo, man. The adaptation, this is a top 5 favorite chapter in all of One Piece for me. For any anime onlys out there, this is the second half of chapter 967, the first half being episode 967 with Roger's adventure. All of that was one chapter in the manga. The way they adapted this episode hit home so hard. The Memories OST legit, man. When that thing started playing, it was like both a, my goodness, they're playing this in journey. And that's exactly what I felt when I read the manga chapter. I was like, yo, the journey, man, the journey of this magnificent series, dude. And it hit extremely hard. I love rewatching this with reactions, and without question, one of the all-time GOATs. They did a marvelous job in adapting the second half of that chapter. But man, Roger, dude. This is the perfect One Piece episode. I don't have a single, and I'm talking about a single thing wrong with this episode. This episode is a masterpiece. When you start off the year with this episode, it set a precedent that they met. That they met multiple times. They gave us movies after movies, week in and week out. This chapter in the manga was special. It was a very special experience. The anime took that experience and amplified it like tenfold. In regards to the tension, in regards to what you're supposed to be feeling, in regards to the visual, oh my, bro, the visuals. The storyboarding. Bro, some of those camera angles were goated, man. And then you have that phenomenal Shichibukai sequence. Hancock, Mihawk, Buggy, Weevil, and it's like, brother. And even the reanimated portions with Crocodile and Blackbeard and Doflamingo, and it's like, what are we doing, yo? This is masterful. And I loved it, man. This is what One Piece can be. And it's incredible when I look back and think to how everything just flowed so well together. The Kobe and X-Drake sequences, looking out into the Amazon Lily, just everything was incredible, man. I'm talking every little part you can possibly think of, from visual direction to sound direction to adaptation to all of it. All of it, this episode excelled. It excelled, man. Like, it truly is the perfect episode of One Piece, yo. Masterclass. Absolutely masterclass, man. Like, yo, the ending of this episode gets me hyped every time. There's a certain shot of Mihawk when he goes to grab the blade. Peek! And you got the stuff with Morgan's. Oh, man, Morgan's throwing hands. It's the bearer of big news. And it's like, yo, legendary stuff. And the way they handle, like I said, the moments with tension and not knowing exactly what's going on. And then as a manga reader, actually being able to see Alabasta there in its entirety there as they are grieving over this news. It's like, yo, the anime knows something that I don't, and it's filling in the blanks, and I loved it. I love this episode, dude. I love it. You know why I'm here. You know what I'm gonna say, man. The GOAT with the GOAT. Come on, man. This episode made my boy, made him feel like an emperor, man. Yo, when you had that shot of the entire crew and it went into Luffy, oh, that was beautiful, bro. And that's my favorite thing. When this happens in an anime episode, it's an automatic Recon favorite. When they change the aspect ratio and it goes into that letterbox format, that cinema format, I was like, let's go. Let's go. Just that sequence by itself. And for Luffy, for us to see him putting on the coat, that was a dream come true. That is my favorite frame, my favorite shot in the anime. Right? It really is, man. That is a legendary shot. There's so much emotional weight behind that shot. The entire journey behind that shot and putting on the cape. The fact that they gave us that is goated. The action sequences, Robin, Nami, Sanji going up in like swim. We're going to see Zoro and Usopp earlier on the episode. But the final sequence with over the top playing and the big three in Luffy, Kid, and Law. Man, bro, over the top was playing. And then we have some of the greatest, like, just that animation sequence is different, man. It is so different. Kid utilizing his metal, Law with the but bro, when Luffy was running up that ship, I was like, oh, this is the best One Piece has ever looked. Ever looked. I was losing my mind. Yeah, fools! And yo, when this man Law went in, oh no, that was nasty. The ejection shot, no, filthy, man. Love those three. The bickering was extremely well done, but the fact that they did all of that to over the top, it surpassed expectations, man. Like I said, I went into that week, into that entire situation, with extremely high expectations because I love that stuff a lot in the manga. But they went above and beyond, man. That stuff was goated. Episode 978, legendary. Absolutely legendary. And like I said, it contains my favorite frame in the entire series. Remember what I said about episode 957 being the perfect One Piece episode? This. I still think about this episode, and I wonder how. I wonder how it was possible. Episode 982 is the perfect episode of One Piece. Yo, in terms of adapting source material that is not supposed to hit that hard, that chapter is a good chapter. It ain't that good. And they made it into an all-time classic. An all-time classic. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the anime enhancing stuff to an insane degree. That Red Hawk, bro. Oh, man. And then the little bickering and pieces of interactions with the Straw Hats were so good in this episode. The Toby Ropo's introduction with the color palette, the shading, with the red eye, it was so good, man. And it was a wonderful not just an adaptation, but a wonderful way to introduce those characters. They introduced Yamato early, son. I was like, let's go. I was losing my mind, man. Y'all know how much I love Yamato. And I was like, yo, they introduced Yamato early. I thought that was a really brilliant way of doing that, too, to create hype and whatnot. Great stuff there. And then you have the music video with the zoom, zooms. And yo, that sequence. Yo, the entire episode, movie quality, but that one right there, that one was crazy. But to end it all off with that incredible declaration from Kinemon. Like, yo, it's time. Charge. Straight goosebumps, man. And then you have Jinbei and it coming onto the crew, and they're gonna do the toast, and Luffy holds off. You have those wonderful panels, or frames, I should say, and shots in the anime that just, they stick with you, bro. You know, with all of our beloved crew, and it was a celebration of the Straw Hats and whatnot, and I loved it. And the final shot being with all of their mugs, signaling they will come back. And when they come back, it's going to be the party of a lifetime. I loved it, and it really, really hit hard, man. Like, in regards to enhancing source material that was not supposed to hit that hard, it took good chapters and made it into an all-time memorable experience. Because every little section in this episode hit it in its own way. And I loved it, man. Episode 982, masterclass. Masterclass. And then coming in at number 1, could it have been anything else for me? Seriously, y'all know me. Y'all know how I do, man. And if you were there that night, you know how special it was. It could be nothing other than episode 1000. And it has all bias. All bias, man. When you remake We Are, when you remake the greatest opening ever and make it even better by having the goat with a coat and the entire squad here now, different visuals, that alone had the episode in the S+ tier. And then you give us the rest of the episode, and it was just a celebration of everything that makes this series so special, which is our beloved crew. And I loved it so much, man. And I watched every single theater reaction that's out there. I've watched so many reactions, normal reactions out there. And every time I watch that final sequence, I always get choked up. That final Mina! And Luffy tells him, yo, we're getting ready. Then we have the shots of Toon, and it's all back and forth. Then Luffy's like, yo, I'm gonna go take down Kaido. It shows every single of their walks. His peak, bro. They took the walk. They took that chapter, which was what I was looking forward to seeing the most at that point in time. And they animated it into the most glorious walk ever, bro. I was so goated, man. The fact that credits were playing added that new level of specialty to it. Then you have the flashbacks that were so well done. When you have all of them, showcasing their abilities. Then their character walks onto the screen and it shows their best moments. I loved it, man. It was a celebration. And then in the middle of it, they remade even the transition sequences. literally, the very first one, they brought it back. Except for the entire crew. And I was like, no, do this to me. No, dude. It was a really special experience, man. That's a night I will never forget. I will never forget that night, man. And the same way I'll never forget the night chapter 1000 came out. I'll never forget the night episode 1000 came out. And man, that walk was really, really special, bro. I mean, right now, my throat hurts just thinking about it because it chokes me up, man. It really does. Like, that final sequence is really, really special. And when I'm talking about really, I'm talking about an all-time One Piece moment levels of special. It is one of my favorite sequences in the entire series. It is so good, man. And I couldn't be more grateful. You know how they end off the episode saying thanks and to be continued, man. It should be us saying thanks, man. Like, that was the greatest possible episode 1000 that at the very least I could have ever asked for, man. They didn't have to remake We Are. They didn't have to give us the original transition sequences with the current characters. They didn't have to give us the greatest walk, man. The walk of legend. You know, walks in One Piece are legendary, bro. And the fact they called back to every single one with this one was so good. Like, yo, that's what makes this series so special is our crew. And the fact that they understood that and they just went above and beyond to showcase that was so beautiful, man. And it's, like I said, it's an experience I'll never forget. I'll always love episode 1000. Come on, man, they remade We Are! And those are my favorite episodes of 2021, man. This was insanely hard to make, but I'm satisfied with this list because I know tomorrow I could change one of the rankings and it'll be all cool because this is how I felt today. And I've spent quite a bit of time yesterday rewatching some of these, making sure this is how I felt about them. And I love these episodes, man. And we have truly gotten, like I said at the beginning of the video, some of the greatest episodes in the entire series this year. So even stuff that I left out, I know I left out greatness, but there's only 10 and I put 11 spots in this list. So I look forward to seeing your lists completely compiled. I know I did the poll yesterday for the episodes. So for anybody that is looking forward to seeing those results, the poll results, that is going to be going up on Saturday to see all of your favorite episodes of the year. That'll be going up on Saturday, man. So this is my own list, my own personal list. Definitely a hard list to make, but I'm sure all of us had a difficult time making our list, man. But until next time, y'all have an awesome day. Take care. What a year, man. And to think that 2022 could be even better. How could it surpass this, man? I mean, yo, movies. We had movies! 24-minute movies, man!